Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining me. I have got a bunch of information I'd like to share with you today. Lots of things to talk about and lots of things to do. This presentation is really designed for people that are in management, that are running IT as well as administration, really anybody that's in a small or medium-sized company. Because what I want to talk about today are technologies that are going to be affecting your business, stuff that you can be investing in right now, and a few things that are coming down the pike in the future. Now, my name is Gene Marks, by the way, and as you can see by the screen behind me, I write a technology column 6 times a month for Forbes magazine. You can also find me online, and I also write for other places as well. I am a CPA, but don't hold that against me. I cover all the latest technologies that are affecting businesses. In my business, I run a small technology firm outside of Philadelphia. We implement technologies at a lot of different of our clients. We have about 600 clients around the country, and we're talking about all sorts of things. So this presentation is designed to just bring you up to speed. People always ask me, how do I keep up to speed on the technologies that are out there? How do I know? I don't want to miss something. What should I be investing in? Well, you're in the right place. Because for the next, 40 minutes or so, I'm going to go through some of the biggest trends that are impacting small businesses this year and over the next couple of years. And this will give you the idea of some places where you can be spending your money. Now, I'll be looking into this camera. I might be looking into this camera as well. So don't think that it's a mistake, because it's really not. I like to kind of go between cameras and cameras only just to kind of keep you awake as we go along. But okay, enough about me. Let's talk about some of these trends, the things that impact your business, all right? The first trend that is important for you in 2021 is this: CRM. CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management. It is now become a core database for small and medium-sized companies. Now, if you're not sure who makes CRM systems, some familiar names maybe like Salesforce.com, Microsoft Dynamics, Zoho, Insightly, Copper. These are some of the more well-known names that are out there. Sage is another one as well. And I just want you to know that as I go to more and more businesses, my clients, they are implementing and stepping up their CRM game. Why? Because a CRM system is nothing more than a database. It is your main database. It integrates with your email system and your collaboration system, because maybe it's Microsoft Teams or Google G Suite or whatever else you're using for your office. It integrates with your calendar. When you're using it the right way, for all of your employees, wherever they are taking notes about your customers, prospects, employees, vendors, suppliers, partners. Anybody that impacts your business is in this one database. And what's happening is, when it's implemented the right way, is that CRM systems ensure that things never fall through the cracks and that you don't look like a dope in front of your customers. And what I mean by that is that falling through the cracks, everybody that's in your database has some type of follow-up. Even if it's just a call, an email, they're on a newsletter list, they're on some type of a reach out. Nobody falls through the cracks if they've come in contact with your company. And when it comes to looking like a dope, if you're using it the right way and you're scheduling the right things and you're recording the different transactions that you're recording, a CRM system is very, very valuable for you, because whenever a customer, somebody calls in, whoever looks in the CRM system can see who spoke to them last, what the last email was, what notes about them, what information about them, so nobody looks like a dope. It's very, very important to know. It is a very, very popular technology. Now, it is a $40 billion market and growing. In fact, expected to grow in 2021 by 16%. It is data that is shared by everybody in your company. Again, it's your core system that is out there. It drives sales stuff. And a lot of CRM systems are known for their sales capabilities. So there's, you keep your pipelines, your quotes, your forecasts. If you're doing any of this in a spreadsheet, you stop doing it in the spreadsheet. It all goes into your CRM system. But it also deals with service as well. So when any customers call in with any problems, or any even prospective customers, you can generate tickets, put things in queues, build knowledge bases that everybody in your company, both service and salespeople, can get access to and share. That is an enormous thing. And finally, it does marketing as well. So we all know that there are marketing automation things like Constant Contact or MailChimp for emails. Great platforms to use for your bulk emails, but they're not CRM systems. Those systems are their responsibility is to get emails out to whoever your audience is. Your audience, though, is maintained in your CRM system, and a good CRM system will integrate with those marketing applications. Yes, they are hard to implement, but they have a huge long-term value, and the value is this. Whenever I have clients now, because they've been using their CRM systems for the past few years, when people are looking to sell their businesses or bring on an extra partner or get some type of an equity investment, nowadays people look at the data in your company. And if you can tell that buyer of your company or that investor or that partner that, hey, besides my inventory, besides my people, besides everything else that's in my business, I've got this database, this CRM database, with everybody who has touched my company and everybody that we do business with, follow-ups, what they bought from us, what they might be interested in buying, notes about them, demographic information. Somebody will pay you for that data. So your CRM system really does build value. So the first trend I just want to make sure that you're aware of, people are investing in CRM. You need to get training. You need to get it set up the right way. You need to adopt it as a culture. You need to make sure there's good reports coming out of it. You need to make sure it's integrated with your other systems. This is not something that just immediately happens. It's an investment. But if you adopt it as a culture, it will really provide not only short-term value because things won't fall through the cracks, people won't look like a dope, but long-term value, it will build up a great database that you can use that will increase the value of your company. So just telling you, and finally, Salesforce, Microsoft, Sage, Zoho, all those are great applications. Pipedrive is another great one that's out there to consider. Just you can Google around for it and see, but work with somebody that's expert with those products. They will help you the most. So that's the first trend. The second trend has to do with HR, and that's human resources, okay? And the fact of the matter is that HR platforms are across the board lowering the cost of overhead. So here's what I mean. HR platforms themselves do all of this. If you get a good HR platform, and by the way, some examples, Paychex, ADP, Gusto, Bamboo, Zenefits, these are all different HR platforms that are out there. And again, you can Google for HR platforms. They're relatively inexpensive. They could be a few $1,000s a year for a company that might have 5, 10, 15 employees. And even if you only have 5 employees, a very important investment to make. And here's how they work. When you have a good HR platform, everybody in your company has a mobile app for the application. And what they do with this mobile app is this. It integrates with your payroll system. So if they have any questions about payroll, they look it up on their mobile system. If they need to put in, for paid time off or for sick time, they can do it right through their mobile app. If they need to fill out, any forms or, contact information or health insurance information, they do it on their mobile app. Even if they need to go and do performance reviews and update those, and we do a great job with our performance reviews, right? I mean, we're fully on top of them. We know exactly what we're doing on our performance review. Well, these HR systems, they help you with your performance reviews as well, because everybody has got on their mobile app, they can add notes, they can have updates, they can get reminders, there are workflows about it. It's all mobile. And you know what else it does that's really important is when you have a good HR system, it says something to your employees as well. It says that you are not operating your business like it's 1995. You're operating it like it's 2021. And when you're looking to bring people on, it not only saves a lot of time, because this is all administrative stuff that somebody in your office is doing that your employees can be doing, but not only that, it steps up your technology platforms, and it's attractive to bring new employees in, particularly younger employees. And remember, our millennial generation makes up like half of our workforce now, so it's an important thing to keep in mind. So CRM systems I mentioned earlier, but HR platforms for your HR, you should really look into them this year, because I have a lot of clients that are doing them. Again, a few $1,000s a year, and again, Paychex, ADP, Gusto, Bamboo, Zenefits, there's a bunch that's out there. And all you need to do, by the way, if you're looking for an HR platform Go and like Google competitors to Gusto, for example, which is an HR platform. You'll see right away that there are all sorts of articles and lists out there that will give you competing applications for Gusto, and you can do your research that way. But it's a very, very good investment that you need to make. Okay. The third trend that I want to discuss also has to do with employees that we talked about putting in HR platforms to manage your employees and make things easier. But there are some hot benefits this year that are driven by technologies that you need to be aware of. And why? Well, as I'm talking to you today, it's like the end of March in 2021. I don't know when you're watching this video, but the bottom line is that we are going to be seeing a recovery in the economy in 2021, and we are going to see, in addition to that, more competition for labor this year than we have seen in the past years. Remember a couple of years ago, like our biggest issue with labor was finding good employees? Well, guess what? Now our biggest issue with we're going to be back to that as well, because people are going to be coming back to the workforce. And smart employers that have good HR benefits in place, they're the ones that are going to attract the best people. And there are some great technology platforms that I want to share with you. This is what my clients are doing this year. The first has to do with student loan repayments. So, obviously, we have a whole generation of people coming into the workforce or that have been in the workforce that are being buried under student debt. Well, a lot of employers are starting to help out their employees with doing that. And Congress, I expect, in the next year or two, are considering some legislation to make some incentives for employers to do this as well. All of that is an opportunity for platforms like tuition.io. Tuition.io is a student debt payment platform, a loan repayment platform. It gets in the middle between, it integrates with all the loan payment service providers and payroll systems. So if you say to an employee or a prospective employee, listen, come and work with us for a couple of years, and after 2 years, we'll contribute a couple $1,000s a year to help pay down your student debt, which is an awesome benefit to give. You can have it all done through tuition.io, a great cloud platform to help you do that. Number two, we talk about cloud platforms. Same-day pay is becoming more and more popular, particularly among companies that have a lot of hourly workers, restaurants, retail, production facilities. Companies like Paychex are now offering in their cloud-based platforms to do that, which means that if you hire an hourly worker, you can say to them, listen, you don't have to wait for a paycheck every 2 weeks. We will give you 30% of your pay that day after you have worked, when you clock out, and it will all be administered through our payroll platform. Paychex is one of the companies doing this. Paycor, some of the other ones that are out there also provide these kinds of benefits. That's another attractive technology to consider. Hello Wallet, another great app, and there are plenty of them out there. That's a financial advisory app. A lot of these financial advisory apps, they're inexpensive. You provide them to your employees. They integrate with payroll systems. They integrate with other financial management systems. And your employees can use Hello Wallet to get questions answered, like how much should I be putting away for my kids' college education? Or should I buy or lease that car? Should I rent or should I buy a home? The better financial decisions that your employees are making, the better off they will be and the happier employees that they will be as well. Now, it's not just, of course, financial wellness, but there's also health wellness as well. A lot of the health insurance providers have their own health wellness apps. One of these is ShapeUp, which is, it's very similar to a lot that's being already provided by other health management providers and health insurance companies. So you got to ask your benefits company about that. But I have a lot of clients that are investing in these maintenance apps. And by the way, a lot of them, when I say investing, they're pretty inexpensive. In some cases, they're even free. They're provided as part of the plans. And what they do is they monitor, they manage the employees, as long as you can get over any privacy issues. And it gives them help with calories, diet, physical exercise, with goal setting that they have as well. All of that for a healthier workforce, which obviously increases productivity and keeps your costs down. So you can check out ShapeUp, but more importantly, ask your health benefits provider saying, does my health insurance company have like a health maintenance app that we might want to consider and investing some time in because we want to have that for employees. This is just what my clients are doing this year. These are the kind of technologies they're using. Another great technology, a platform, which I love, is called Card Cash. Now, Card Cash is a platform where you can buy and sell discounted gift cards. So, for example, say you've got a gift card to the Outback Steakhouse and you don't want it, which I don't really understand, because how could anybody not want a gift card to the Outback Steakhouse? It's like my favorite restaurant in the country. But okay, say you don't want it. Well, you can take that gift card, you can sell it at a discount to Card Cash, and then somebody on Card Cash's marketplace can buy that gift card also at a discount. So, for example, somebody gave me for like a Christmas present like 2 years ago a gift card to the hair cuttery. Let me repeat that. They gave me a gift card to the hair cuttery, okay? Not a lot of value in that gift card for me. So what did I do? I took that gift card and I sold it back to Card Cash. And Card Cash took it. They bought it from me. It was a $100 gift card. They bought it for me for $50, which to me was like money from heaven. And then they sold it for $75, so everybody was happy. Why do I mention Card Cash here as a platform? Because you can buy gift cards to give out to your employees as gift when they win contests or awards or things like that. It's a way to save some money. Very is offered in different parts of the country. It's an online vending machine service where you can actually go and it connects to the internet. It will automatically reorder and resupply itself. You can have healthy stuff in there for your younger employees, and for the baby boomers like me, you can have your Reese's peanut butter cups and Hershey bars as well. So don't worry, it can all be there. And what happens is that you can set any price that you want on these vending machines, and then when you sell it, you can then give any proceeds to charity or whatever once you've covered your costs. So again, it's another popular technology people have been using. MDVIP is a medical concierge service. It's a platform where these doctors use telehealth and telemedicine as well as on-site visits to provide care. It's something you might want to consider for your senior employees. It's like $1,500 a year extra per person on top of your health insurance. But what it does, though, is that it provides them with an extra level of concierge medical care, and they can do it online using Zoom or other applications, as well as doing it face-to-face. And finally, there's Bonusly. Bonusly is a team-building app. So what that means is that everybody gets it, and everybody gets awarded points, and then you can then award points to each other, and managers in your company can award points to their to people reporting to them. So it's like an app where people award points back and forth, and then whoever has the most points at the end of the month or the quarter of the year, they win. Maybe they win a gift card from Card Cash. Bonusly is like, to me, like the Harry Potter of team building apps. It's like, hey, great job on that project that you did, Carolyn. 10 points for Gryffindor. It's like one of those kinds of things. But it's very popular, builds teams, also helps when people are working from home or not around all the time. Very inexpensive, very affordable. So it's a good thing that you should consider as well. Okay, so let's see what we've learned so far about some of the technologies you should be considering. Number one, CRM systems. They become a mission-critical technology for growing small businesses. I mentioned some of them. I'll mention them again. Salesforce, Zoho, Microsoft Dynamics, Sage, Copper, Insightly. There's a bunch of them. Pipedrive. Bunch of great ones that are out there that you absolutely want to consider to grow your business, but also to create value with a good database. Number two, cloud-based HR platforms are something a lot of businesses are investing in this year. We're talking Paychex, Gusto, Zenefits, Bamboo. There's a bunch of them that are out there. You get mobile apps. People can manage their own things. It saves time, improves accuracy, and also just steps up your technology platform that all of your employees and prospective employees can see. And finally, tuition reimbursement, financial wellness apps. Those are just one of the few of technologies and platforms and services that are out there that employers, my clients, my readers, are using to entice employees to their companies, as well as to keep their employees motivated and loyal. So those are three big trends to start with. I think I've got 9 overall, so we're about a third of the way there, okay? So, let's talk about number 4. Work from anywhere now is demanding all-in-one workplace collaboration tools. Now, Jotform is without question the leader in this area. And the reason why they're leading in this area is because they are providing a platform, this super flexible platform for people to create their own forms, their own data, their own collaboration tools. And it has come into its own during this past year because of COVID and because people have been working from anywhere. Now, working from anywhere, and if you notice I'm saying working from home, because it's not about just working from home anymore, it's about working from anywhere. If there's one big thing we've learned from the pandemic is that people can work wherever they want to work from, and the cloud works, and that it is secure. I mean, more secure than a lot of our own systems in our own companies, and it is fast and it is flexible. And the tools that people have been using to manage their employees, not only will they not go away, they're going to grow in popularity. That's one of the reasons why a platform like Jotform has really grown in popularity. So as you're sending people all over the place and they are working from home, they're working at a coffee shop, they're working while they're traveling or on vacation or whatever, you got to provide them with the collaboration tools for them to use. Now, we're not just talking about filling out a form here. We're talking about data. We're talking about easily creating custom forms for any type of data application that you are gathering information from people in your company and then sharing that information within your company. It's a super easy way to do it using an application like Jotform. So they call themselves an ecosystem to manage that data in one workplace. It has this online form builder tool. They've recently launched new tools that creates sort of an all-in-one workplace. So where Jotform started out, it's just like, oh, we have just a form that we create. It goes well beyond that nowadays. It is, like I said, a data. So when you use Jotform, you get a PDF editor, so you can generate documents right from it. You've got forms that you can not only create, but also fill out from whatever device, phones, tablets, smartphones, wherever you are. And because it's a database, it has tables like a spreadsheet. So imagine you're sharing this information as a spreadsheet. It can be delivered in a form format or a spreadsheet format, but most importantly, you can extract the data from it. So the flexibility in this application for putting data in and then pulling it back out in the form of reports is super, super powerful. So, we talked about CRM, we talked about HR platforms, we talked about HR benefits. If you notice, these are cloud-driven applications that small businesses are investing in. They're investing in stuff like this because their employees are wherever they are. And by the way, it's not just their employees. It's their independent contractors. It's their customers. It's their partners who need to make sure that they can get data into a system, have it in the system for a while, or use it, extract it, share it wherever they are. This goes well beyond whatever else is out there, and that's why companies and platforms like Jotform are doing really well. So if you're a small business, you need something really easy to create, an easy way to manage your data. This is like the simplest way that I can recommend doing it, and it's why it's been so popular among my clients and my readers. So that's another big trend. The fifth trend to talk about has to do with augmented and virtual reality, which is becoming more and more and more popular. Let me just give you some examples of what I mean by that. This guy is wearing what's called the Microsoft HoloLens 2. Now, I don't work for Microsoft. I don't sell Microsoft products. I just want you to be aware. I don't get a commission on this. But this is an example of where augmented technology and virtual reality is going. This device that this guy is wearing, it's $3,500. It's really not that expensive. So when you think about what it will do, the benefits that it provides are vast. So for starters, it gives real-time views to anybody else that's plugged into that technology. So imagine you're a healthcare worker or an EMT that's in some emergency situation. You've got this on and you're treating a patient, and there's doctors back in the hospital looking at what you're doing and advising you on what to do to assess the situation. Or if you are walking through a house and you want to show it to a client of yours, you're in Philadelphia, that's where I am, and your client is in Houston, you can show them as you're walking through because you're using and you're showing these real-time views. Just to give you an example of the power of what these things do. They're super popular in certain industries. I mean, I mentioned real estate, I mentioned healthcare, construction, super, super powerful and super popular because there you're going on site. And what these things do is you can not only see what's going on around you, but you can pull up data and look at schematics and plans. So, a design plan can flash up in front of you, another photo. If you are looking at, say you're constructing a building or so, there might be like a photo of what you want it to look like or a drawing of what it looks like. So you can be, you could be looking at this building and then you could be looking at the photo and because you've got these glasses on in front of you, you can basically be seeing them both at the same time. Just to give you an idea of the kinds of things that it does. Obviously, simulated walkthroughs. In Microsoft's case, I'm just using this as an example because it's a Microsoft product. They integrate it with Microsoft's their Teams and Dynamics, and the Power BI is their reporting application. But I only say that because a lot of these augmented reality devices, as they come into the business world, they will and do integrate with many other business applications out there. So don't think you have to buy a Microsoft product. And by the way, if you do buy the Microsoft product, which I recommend, I mean, it's very good, and I have a lot of clients that do use it, it comes with an open source. So if you want to go to the expense of hiring a Microsoft developer, they can write code for you to integrate what you're looking at with other data in your business as well. It's just, again, for $3,500 a unit for people that are out of the field or whatever, it's a really, really powerful thing. Now, there are some other applications of augmented reality. Topshop, a very popular store in London, has got an augmented reality slide that you literally you put on, again, the glasses, you sit as if you're on a slide. I don't even know if they spray water. I've never been on it, okay, what can I say? But I don't know if they spray water at you, but you literally take the slide through the streets of London. It draws people into their store, Helzberg Diamonds, which is a very well-known diamond retailer, they have a ring selector. God knows, how do you even go out and select a ring for your fiance? My son did this on his own. I can't even imagine what crazy person would do that. Women, when they're going to get that ring, you want them to see all the different options that they have. This kind of augmented reality device helps them with this. They wear the ring and they can choose other things that they can choose from. Speaking of women, trying on stuff in a store, is obviously is an adventure. Neiman Marcus has things called memory mirrors, and what they do is, as you can see by the woman in this photo, it takes a picture of you, it holds that image, it then makes comparisons using your body shape and form for different types of outfits that might work on you as well. These are all types of augmented reality applications used by businesses right now in the real world, continuing on, and might be a real investment that you want to make for your business. Finally, there's trend number 6. Not finally, by the way, I've got a few more after this. But we do have to talk about security. So if we're talking about, I mean, I don't know how many guys like Elliot behind me is out there. You ever see Mr. Robot? It's a great show. You can watch it. It's on, I'm sure you can find it somewhere, on your on-demand or Netflix or whatever. But it's a great show. This guy's a hacker, like a super smart hacker, and this is the guy you got to watch out for, because security, even in a cloud-based world, or even because of a cloud-based world, there are issues that you need to be aware of as a business owner. And the biggest issue with security this year has to do with ransomware. It continues to be the #1 security issue that's faced by business owners all around the world. Now, I don't want to insult your intelligence about ransomware. I'm sure you know what it is by now. Somebody downloads a file by mistake or goes to a bad website by mistake. Something gets into their device, gets into your network, even if it's on the cloud, and then everything gets locked up. And the only way you can unlock those files is by getting an encryption key from the ransomware makers. And the encryption key might be as little as $100. It might be tens of thousands of dollars. They go after both big and small organizations. Ransomware makers have shut down water systems. They shut down transportation systems. They shut down the subway in San Francisco. They shut down a hotel near Vienna in Austria a couple years ago and would not release people from their rooms until the hotel paid them their ransom. Just to give you an idea of the kind of people that they are. It is a billion-dollar industry now. It is the first industry where these hackers can really make some money. I have clients that have reported to me that they've been infected by ransomware and were given a toll-free number to call to the hackers customer service department to help them with buying the encryption key and getting uninfected. Unbelievable. That's how big a business this has become. $1 billion in payments were made to these people in 2020, and 100,000 computers affected daily. And the biggest issue is 1 in 5 who make the payments don't get them back. So that's something that's 20% of people. So what do you do to protect yourself against ransomware in this world? And again, this is a security trend. Well, number one, your people need to be trained to know when to recognize bad files. It's the number one issue. The number one way that these people get access to your systems is by you and me making mistakes with our files. So you need to be able to read the files. You need to be able to understand when you're being sent to a malicious website. So use a software like KnowBe4. I see it listed right here, KNOWBE4. It is, you can set it up and it will automatically send phishing and other types of emails to your employees to test them on how much that they know without them knowing it. Or bring your IT firm in there to do some training a few times a year. That's one. Number two, every access to your systems should have two-factor or multi-factor authentication. It is not completely ironclad, but it puts up another barrier that a lot of ransomware makers will then just avoid to get some more easier pickings. So you know what that is, right? You go to log in, and then it says you got to check your phone for a code, and then when you put in the code, then you get access. You need to have that set up for all of your systems, for all of your employees. Very important. Very, very important that you update your security software and that your employees working from home have updated security software. Very, very important that you've got an online backup system set up. There are a bunch of good ones out there. Microsoft provides them, Carbonite, some other ones out there that you're backing everything up online. Most importantly, though, the most important thing I can tell you is that you and your employees have to make sure that your browsers are up to date and your operating systems are up to date. It is a huge pain in the neck to update Windows. I know that. I get you're due for an update and whatever, and I'm like, my God, is this going to take 1 minute or 10 hours? I mean, I get it. It's a pain. However, what happens is that these ransomware makers, these hackers, are looking for computers they can compromise. And the ones that they can compromise are the ones where running older operating systems. If they come across, and there are tens of thousands of bots running right now looking for these computers, if they find your computer and you're running the most recent version of Windows, I'm not saying it's ironclad, but they will tend to avoid you and look for somebody else still running Windows 95 because those are the ones that are going to be easier to get into and then compromise the system. So you and your employees have to be running the most recent updated versions of both your operating systems and your browsers. You don't have to worry that much about your browsers because they just automatically update behind the scenes, but your operating systems, and that's not just Microsoft, it's also for Mac and Google, Google's operating systems as well, Android systems. You have to make sure that they're most recent. That's what you've got to invest in this year. Okay, so we talked about CRM, mission critical technology. We talked about HR systems. Now they need to be cloud-based and mobile, so there's some good recommendations there. We talked about some good technology platforms that business owners are investing in for financial wellness, as well as a team building, as well as tuition reimbursement. We also talked about how work from anywhere demands like all-in-one workplace collaboration tools and how Jotform is one of the ones that so many of my clients are using because it's that popular to use, so easy to set up, have your data in the cloud, report on it, share it. Those are the kind of tools that work from anywhere employees really, really need. I've talked about how a lot of my clients are investing in virtual and augmented reality technologies. They are really coming into focus now, and there are more and more companies that are using them, big and small, and the technology is becoming more and more affordable. And finally, we spoke about how ransomware is the #1 tech trend that you've got to be aware of, both last year and this year. Very, very important to follow. Okay, 3 more trends that I want to share with you in the last 15 or so minutes, just to make sure that you're up to speed on all the things that you need to know about technology for your business. So, artificial intelligence. It will make you more competitive, and you need to embrace it. But let me just make sure that we're clear about what I mean by artificial intelligence, okay? It is that people ask me all the time, should I be investing in AI or artificial intelligence or bots or whatever? No, you don't have to be doing that. You don't have to be writing your own AI applications. You're not in the business of doing that. Don't worry about that. Your software makers are doing that. Google's doing it, Microsoft's doing it, Apple's doing it, Sage is doing it, Epicor is doing it, Macola's doing it, all the way Intuit and QuickBooks. They're all writing software, AI apps to do things behind the scenes and make your productivity easier. Your job is you've got to ask your software vendors, what should I be knowing about? What new AI features do you have so I can use to benefit my business? Now, what do these things do? Let me give you a few examples. Facebook, for example, if you have a good Facebook page and you're using Facebook Messenger, which I hope that you are, and you've got an audience out there, Facebook has its own AI-driven bots so that you can set up and customize. So when people respond to your messages, you can have automatic messenger responses going back to them so that people don't have to get involved. In addition, I mentioned Skype, which is now part of Microsoft Teams. Do you know that Skype and Teams has automatic translation? So, if you are going to call up a customer in Germany or China and you don't speak Mandarin or you don't speak German, Skype's got you covered. Using an AI bot, you can have that conversation with them and they will translate each other, you to him, that person back to you in real time as well. That's artificial intelligence. You don't have to write this, but did you know it exists? Maybe not. You gotta ask, because that's a real big tool. CVS is another great example of AI. I mean, we have, I get text messages from CVS all the time. We had a dog who unfortunately passed away a few years ago, but she was very sick, and we had all these medications from CVS, and I was getting texts from CVS like every single day about renewing Lavender's medication. I didn't name her Lavender. My wife named her Lavender. But we're renewing Lavender's medications all the time, and I'm saying yes, and then if it needed renewal from the vet, I'd be asked. And I'm communicating with a robot. There's no person texting me. These are all automatic texts that are being sent to me so that CVS can get all this stuff done faster, more accurate, and without people being involved, which is the key thing when it comes to overhead. H&R Block is another example. I am a CPA. Sometimes you got to be concerned about the profession. They're using IBM Watson technology so that any taxpayer, where they do a tax form, scans it and goes through millions and millions of pages of IRS code to determine if that tax form is not only filled out right, but if there's anything that customer is doing that could be benefited from a tax advantageous situation, because Watson is able to do that. It's way more firepower than the typical accountant can do. And finally, I mentioned Microsoft Dynamics. Gee, I sound like I'm selling Microsoft on this thing. I'm really not. But Microsoft itself is using, because I mentioned CRM earlier. So if you have a good CRM system, a good accounting system, you will, a good AI-based system will be looking for, oh, this quote is overdue. Are you aware of that? Oh, this inventory is running low. Should I reorder some more inventory for you? Or maybe I just do that automatically. This customer's credit card is coming due in the next 2 weeks. Do you want to make sure I contact that customer to renew the credit card or update the credit card so that we can continue doing business with that customer? You get it? These are all the things that artificial intelligence does. You don't have to do it, but you got to ask these software people, are they doing it, so that you can take advantage of that technology. Trend number 8 has to do for those of you guys that are in retail. Now, I don't know if you see this guy right behind me. This guy is called Marty. Do you see him right here? I know Marty because my wife and I were just in a giant store, which is very popular here in the Northeast at least, just this weekend. And one of these guys was floating around. And you know what Marty does? He's a robot. And you know what this robot is doing? This robot is replacing people. That's what he's doing. He's sliding around the store. You can ask it questions. It's checking for safety issues and spills. It's able to scan and do checking on inventory as well. And it's looking for any other potential problems that are out there. It's got the video thing going. It's got sensors going. And that's just the start of where these robots are going. Now, when you think about that in a retail store, all of this, the robots that are being done and any other technology, loyalty programs, tracking people around, is all because of the infrastructure in the retail store. Because retail stores have lighting systems now, a lot of the infrastructure providers, a lot of these software providers are able to put this Bluetooth low-tech energy radios that are embedded in all these lights, right, all around. I don't even know if you could see. I don't have any of these, but they would be embedded up here if we had this. If we were in a retail store right now, I know we're not, but it's just, just to give you an idea. It's just, it's what it is. That's how the retailers are doing this now. It's like a mini network of data that's moving around. They're always powered. They're digitally connected. They're doing it through these lighting control networks. They're ubiquitous. They're made out every 10 to 20 feet. If you are a retailer watching this, you need to ask whatever software providers that you have, if you want to have a loyalty program, if you want to have facial recognition, if you want to be tracking your customers better, leverage your lighting that you have in your system, because it's all about beacons. And the beacons themselves are driving this data. 75% of retailers have integrated this beacon technology so that as customers are going around the stores, they're being tracked. By the end of this year, 2021, they're expected to reach 60 million customers with 400 million beacons to be deployed. They were expecting by the end of last year. They're doing things like facial recognition. So just be aware as you walk. I know it's Michael Jackson. You get to see that facial recognition. As you're walking around the store, more and more retailers are now putting in facial recognition devices around. There are privacy concerns. There are security concerns. I get all of that. But it's scanning the faces. It's looking for potential security problems as well. There are two great players in there, TrueFace and FaceWatch, that are doing that to alert for security, alert for any issues around. And then also they're using that beacon technology to manage all of that data. I mentioned Marty, 500 locations over their plan. It uses 5G, identifies spills, safety issues as well. It's taking photos. It can alert employees. It will be answering questions. Customers can go up to it and do searches and scans with it. SoftBank has got Pepper, which is now 10,000, they say, are in use around the world. It's this little, computer or robot that is like, it can answer questions. It serves as a tour guide. It will, answer complaints. If you go to an HSBC bank or a Pizza Hut or a cruise ship, even smaller retailers, you will find some of these Pepper, robots that are around. Very cute. Just be aware. Some people think it's a security joke. One man was once arrested for assaulting Pepper, and just people are asking, can you murder robots? Which you really can't, at least not for now. So they do have their drawbacks, but they are an up-and-coming technology. Finally, my last trend for you before I let you go has to do with the Internet of Things. Okay, so I talked about robots are coming. The Internet of Things are driving that. Let me just to make sure that you're full aware of when people talk about IoT or the Internet of Things. They're here, and here's what they are. They are a sensor which acts as a brain for a dumb device. Now, I know what you're thinking. These things could be used for a lot of our politicians around the country, but no, we haven't seen that use put to play yet. What we are seeing, though, is that these sensors are being put on a lot of inanimate objects so that we can capture data and track data to alert us of things that could be coming in the future. And let me give you some examples of what I mean by these Internet of Things. ThyssenKrupp, the world's largest maker of elevators, has equipped hundreds of thousands of their elevators with sensors all around them. So as new elevators are being put into new buildings and as existing elevators are being refurbished, they're being equipped with all these sensors. Why? Because these sensors are sending back information to ThyssenKrupp's headquarters as well as their partner network, alerting them of any potential maintenance or problems with their elevators. Tells them in advance. That's a good thing for people that like to ride in elevators to hope that they don't fall down the elevator shaft. ThyssenKrupp uses this for maintenance and for safety. Rolls-Royce, same deal. One of the largest makers in the world of airplane engines, equipping their engines with hundreds of sensors. So as these airplanes are flying through the sky, they are constantly sending back data to Rolls-Royce and to the airplane manufacturers, as well as to the air services as well, the airlines, of information that's going on and alerting them if there is any potential problem. It's exactly what you want, right? You want this inanimate object, this engine, to be sending back whatever information is needed so that people know, like, uh-oh, there is a potential problem here. Let's address it now. So that's a good thing, and that's what the Internet of Things does. Samsara is a smaller company, but with a big business of making GPS devices that you can put onto any trucks, inventory items, raw materials, whatever's moving around so that you can track them wherever they are. So that is another, even for a small business, you've got trucks that are on the street or you've got a lot of inventory that's moving. Samsara Devices, they're an IoT company. They will put these sensors on there for you, and it's pretty affordable, and then you will know where your inventory and your trucks are at all time. Amazon is another great example of retail application of Internet of Things. Amazon is opening across the country thousands of their Amazon Go grocery stores. Haven't seen one in Philadelphia yet, but there's a Chicago, New York, San Francisco, Seattle. They're spreading all around the country. There's self-service grocery stores. So somebody walks in, they pull something off the shelf, they scan it with their app on their phone, which has their credit card information in it. They put it in their bag, they walk out. That's it. These are stores that have like maybe one employee in it to restock, and I'm sure one day Amazon will replace that employee with a robot. But at this point in time, it's all being driven by Internet of Things sensors. Because when people are walking around the store, if they pull a carton of milk off the shelf, there's an IoT sensor that's gauging how many cartons of milk are left, and the minute that it gets below a certain inventory level, boom, it places a reorder so that more inventory is sent the next day. That's all driven by the Internet of Things sensors. And finally, there are many companies out there that have agricultural uses of Internet of Things devices. I was actually just did an event. Actually, not just, it was now 2 years ago, but it was the Milwaukee Brewers stadium. And so, it was during the day, there was a game that night, and I was able to look out, from where I was at like the whole field in front of me. And I noticed there was one part of right field that they were like watering it and putting light onto it, special ultraviolet light on it. And I asked one of the people there what's going on. I said, well, we have sensors all throughout the field, and when we detect a part of the field that's not getting enough light or water or potentially dry, we give it special attention. And that's what farmers are doing all around the country. They're putting sensors in, these are Internet of Things, so that they can gauge, well, this area's got plenty of water and hydration or plenty of something. We don't need to pay attention to this area. This area does not. So therefore, we need to focus our energies on that area. That's how the Internet of Things is being used. That is going to be impacting you and your business. There will be billions of these devices already coming onto market, and you've got to think about that. If you've got inventory in your business, even an RFID tag, a radio frequency ID tag, or a GPS tag, your inventory, your machines, all be equipped with these types of Internet of Things sensors to let you know if anything's going wrong or where your inventory or where your stuff is. Also, now that we're speaking about the warehouse, a lot of autonomous stuff going on in warehouses. There are carriers that we heard about, self-driving automobiles. Okay, that still has years to come before they stop running over, puppies in the street, right? But for now, there are, in a lot of bigger warehouses I'm going to, self-driving warehouse carriers, self-automating forklifts that you can remote control, send to a part of your warehouse, lift it up, grab a pallet, bring it down, drive it to another area of the warehouse. That can either be done automatically on a routine as long as everything's set up right, or remote controlled from a distance. That is in reality right now. So, picking those goods, self-driving forklifts, inventory counting as well. And how is the inventory counting done? Oh, that's done by internal drones, which for larger, we talk about drones flying all over the place. And again, I don't think anytime soon we're going to be seeing drones coming into New York City and delivering packages on the 12th floor of a condominium. But right now, in more and more warehouses, I'm seeing they have drones, which are relatively inexpensive, that are doing inventory. So they're flying around, they're checking, they're seeing the status, they're seeing if anything is damaged. Someday I wonder if those drones are even going to be necessary if all of our inventory has, Internet of Things sensors on it. But I guess there is still a visual need to see some of this stuff, and that's why the drones are going to be there. So these are all technologies, if you're in the manufacturing and production area, that you should consider investing in sometime this year. Okay, so let's wrap up, okay? Let me summarize in detail. CRM Systems, Salesforce, Zoho, Microsoft Dynamics, Copper, Insightly. Nothing falls through the crack. Everybody's on the same page. So they don't look like a dope. Builds value in your business. It's a core database for your business. Integrates with email, calendar. It is all of that. One place to go for anybody that touches your business. Number two, you want to invest in a cloud-based HR system, mobile delivered. integrates with your payroll system, pushes the work down for employees to do. They like doing it, improves accuracy, improves productivity, saves on overhead. Number 3, you want to consider investing in some of these cloud-based tools for benefits, tuition reimbursement, financial wellness apps. Number 4, you absolutely want to invest in collaboration tools like Jotform, because these are tools that for your work from anywhere employees, you can quickly create forms, quickly capture data, and then report on that data wherever it is. You don't have to put in expensive cloud-based systems or database systems. It is a great way to improve collaboration quickly and easily for your employees. Jotform is a really good one. Virtual and augmented reality tools. I told you the Microsoft HoloLens headset, a great technology to be used. It's like $3,500 for anybody that's out in the field. Gives you that real-time look. You can also have available access to data, maps, design plans right wherever you are as well. Virtual reality tools, again, they're being deployed in construction, healthcare, and retail that we saw. Ransomware, that's your #1 security threat this year. Upgrade your operating systems. Keep them current. Make sure you've got good backup systems, security software, and your employees get trained, but make sure your operating systems have been upgraded. You want to embrace and not avoid artificial intelligence and bots. Talk to your software makers. They're all making them right now. That's what they do. Your job is to use them to make things more efficient and provide quicker answers to your employees. Big retailers are embracing technology. So if you're in the retail area, there are robots, beacon technology as well, facial recognition technology. These are all things that you should be considering for your business to, again, improve security and improve processing. Businesses of all sizes are using Internet of Things, like, I mentioned Amazon Go. I mentioned Samsara, which uses like GPS tracking and RFID tracking anywhere you go, as well as using it if you're in the agriculture field, if you're using it to tag inventory as well. Internet of Things, technology is, again, just expanding all around the world, something else that you should be considering. Okay, so finally, this is my contact information. Again, I run a technology firm outside of Philly, but I do, I write 6 times a month, more than once a week, for Forbes on technology. So read me there. Every week I have a technology column in Forbes that comes out on Sunday mornings, Eastern time, with 5 things in technology that you should know about that will impact your business and why they impact your business. So I'm just tracking news every week and then giving you my points of view. If you'd like a copy of this PowerPoint, feel free to email me as well. I'll be happy to send you a PDF. So again, thank you so much. My name is G. Marks. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. You find it helpful. Maybe I'll come back to you in a few months or next year and we'll update you on the new technology that will impact your business. Thanks so much and take care.